New Jersey has seen its share of hard times. Most recently, like Flint, Michigan, it's found itself battling a lead water crisis. But a lot is looking up in the brick city. Crime has hit an historic 50-year low, and the jobless rate has dropped, too, to about a third of what it was just 4 years ago. Some of that success is thanks to innovative public-private partnerships like the one formed between the city and the audio book company Audible. These improvements are not only transforming the city, but also the lives of its residents. How did you find this place?
This is just one of the great buildings in Newark that we've just embraced.
You might think the world's largest producer and seller of audiobooks would be in Seattle or Silicon Valley.
It's the right thing to do, and I have a lot of reasons why.
But Audible founder Don Katz just expanded his company into the soul of downtown Newark.
Are these new?
No, they were original.
They were original?
They were from 1932, so the church burned down.
Audible's new home is this once abandoned 100-year-old church that's gone from house of worship to workspace.
This was the original choir loft where people gathered to brainstorm and create ideas.
It's called the Innovation Cathedral.
So what are people doing here?
So they're building various technologically oriented products. These are mostly software development engineers.
In fact, Audible has become Newark's fastest growing private employer, with a workforce of more than 1,600 in the city, all engineering a new frontier of entertainment.
Audible didn't just leave reading alone. If you think about it, there are millions and millions and millions of people listening to Audible now because we looked at the concept of reading and then thought about refracting it through this artful performances by actors.
Flan, ataquen a los blanquitos.
But it's not just tech being developed here. It's young minds, too, as a partner in the city's education system. Audible donated more than $4 million over the past year by giving Newark public high school students an Amazon tablet, headphones, and an Audible subscription.
I was a book nerd.
Book nerd?
Oh, definitely. I read a lot of books.
It also offered students like Nicole Ransom internships.
And a paycheck.
Oh, yeah, we get paid. I started out with $14 an hour. So that's a lot. A pretty good investment of my time.
CEO Don Katz got his start as a journalist, but developed into a true tech innovator. He's credited with creating the first digital audio player back in 1997, 4 years before Apple came out with the iPod.
I was supposed to do a book about, the digital media revolution like 25 years ago. And instead of writing the book, I saw that people would be running around with little digital devices filled with civilization. They'd be in your pocket. One thing came after another, and I decided to create a company instead of write about it.
Audible grew so fast that by 2008, Amazon paid a reported $300 million to buy it.
How much did Amazon change the equation?
The beautiful thing is that we have an incredibly independent culture, brand, and business model. They very much support what we're doing in Newark. Do they, necessarily agree with everything we're doing? I don't really know. All I know is that we've had an amazing run here.
The company moved from neighboring Elizabeth, New Jersey to Newark in 2007, just as new blood swept into City Hall.
Clear to me that they've been a good partner. They have great intentions and doing what they can do.
Mayor Ross Baraka is the latest reformer pushing big ideas, including a goal of having Newark-based corporations like Audible, Prudential, and Panasonic to hire 2,000 local residents by next year.
We need to make sure they train and work with Newark residents. We need to make sure they help us in the schools to get kids prepared.
The promise of better days is helping to erode the stigma associated with Newark's past. The 1969 uprising exposed police brutality and job inequality and also drove thousands of residents out, draining the city of its once mighty tax base and political accountability. Those days are gone, but as some degree of prosperity returns, Baraka hopes to ensure his city's comeback won't leave those who've always lived here behind.
The economy grows in the city. It's our job as leaders and electeds here in the town to make sure that that wealth that comes in the community is redistributed in such a way that the majority of the residents can see some benefit from it.
Would you ever have thought this was your future, Newark, New Jersey?
No, nope. I thought that I was going to move to California and do something cool out there.
Ayanna Post is one example. She found a job at Audible 1 year ago after struggling through a tough adolescence.
I was living in a homeless shelter here in Newark called Covenant House.
Yes.
And they have a program here at Audible called Hire Local.
She will enroll in college next year thanks to another Audible program that pays for the majority of tuition for all employees. It's changed her trajectory, all because the people who create cutting-edge audio have also learned to listen to the needs of those around them.
They help me shape my future now by investing their training, their hiring, their programs, everything they've done has helped me achieve what I am today.
We basically said, as long as you're bright and gregarious, we'll take it from there.
Have you been able to filter up that talent pool?
I mean, the higher ranks of the company are representative. I'm more interested in the organic impact you're creating, jobs at all levels for all kinds of people. This cathedral's filled with people who've come from all over the world. They're at the top of their game in technology.
This is Audible.
And as Audible continues to change the way we enjoy books, it's helped open up a brand new chapter for the city of Newark.
Look, everyone in America loves a comeback story. It's one of our great kind of, storytelling kind of tropes, and being part of it actually has a real lot of meaning and uplifting character. And I would say the fact that so many people want to work here is justification enough to continue to try to help the city.
Yeah, but here's some other perks. Audible also gives their employees free daily lunch, an additional $500 a month on top of their salary to pay rent if they choose to live in Newark. Wow. And they even have a bowling alley for their employees down in the basement.
I'm in.
It's pretty spicy.
CBS, we're out of here. That's what a great use of their resources and their personnel and developing and growing. I love all of this.
Yeah, it's almost full circle for Don Katz, because as a journalist, he was covering, so much of the unrest of the 60s. He even had interviews with the Black Panthers. So, I mean, he's really viewed as a kind of guy who sees it and has seen it for a very long time.
Right.
A couple of things. One is just looking at that church is amazing. To see that they base it inside the church, just beautiful. And then what he says about as long as you're bright and gregarious.
You better do it with a smile.
Okay, we like that.